Hey, family, welcome back to a new episode of Transformed and Renewed. If you are new or you are a returning guest, make sure you do one thing: hit that like and subscribe button. Just that simple. That way, you can just stay in the know with the content that we are releasing, and you don't have to be the last one to find out. So, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your screen, okay? Wherever you follow us on social media, hit that like and subscribe button as well as you can navigate to our website, that is robody.org. You can sign up today for a one-to-one health coaching consultation. That's right. You can sign up today, one-to-one health coaching consultation, as well as you can also get more information on bookings. So again, you can navigate to the website, robody.org, okay? And then also hit that like and subscribe button on your screen. Got that out of the way. We're going to be talking about a different topic, and typically, I don't typically go into a lot of different news topics per se. Some I do, but I do think that it is good every now and then to talk about some news topics because that also is relevant. And so today we're going to be talking about high fructose corn syrup and cane sugar. And this comes from a recent news article, or at least a post by the president, who essentially tweeted on, I want to say it was Truth Social, and pretty much shares some remarks about high fructose corn syrup and companies such as Coca-Cola using cane sugar. And so we're going to dive into that now. So as I'm pulling up this article, is several other articles that were on or just off of the press related to this one. But this one is in particular, as it relates to Coca-Cola, came from, and let me share my screen real quick so that way you actually see what I see in case you want to follow what I'm following. So give me a quick second. We're going to share this. Let's see. Screen share. So yes, there we go. There we go. All right. So yes, this is the topic on CNBC. And as you can see, the headline, just in case, sometimes they change the articles, but you at least have this headline: shares of high fructose corn syrup producer ADM fall after Coca-Cola agrees to use real cane sugar. Now, I think a lot of this was actually sparked a while back when, what to say, it was Robert Kennedy Jr. had talked about companies using high fructose corn syrup and the dangers of that. I didn't see the full interview, but kind of got pieces of it. And from this news article was basically where Donald Trump again, President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social about speaking with Coca-Cola and them using real cane sugar in Coke. And this comes because a lot of companies, or at least with what the Trump administration has been doing, is trying to get companies to use real ingredients. So not a lot of artificial colors, I think, from different companies that use synthetic ingredients. And then now we see high fructose corn syrup. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about during this session was, is there a difference between cane sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which we'll get into very briefly. But as you can see, the company Archer Daniels Midland, or by the acronym ADM, is actually a common or typical producer for Coca-Cola as it relates to high fructose corn syrup. And today, their shares fell down based on this news report. Now, in another article, it talked about, this was from the Corn Refiners Association, where it basically talked about it from the CEO, John Bode, who basically gave this statement. And I want to share this with you. Let's see. I want to share this other piece of information because this was To me, I thought it was interesting, but again, I like for you to see what I see. So that way you can actually, let's see, and let's do that. Okay. So pull this over here. So yeah, so this is from says tip ranks, and then the actual source is the fly. So this is again the Corn Refiners Association. The CEO John Bode said this in a statement as it related to President Trump's post on True Social. It says replacing high fructose corn syrup with cane sugar doesn't make sense. President Trump stands for American manufacturing jobs, American farmers, and reducing the trade deficit. Replacing HFCS, the acronym, with cane sugar would cost thousands of American job manufacturing, or excuse me, cost thousands of American food manufacturing jobs, depress farm income, and boost imports of foreign sugar, all with no nutritional benefit. Now, that was the last piece of that was interesting to me, as it said, all with no nutritional benefit. In doing some research, this is where we will slightly transition over in terms of is there a difference between cane sugar and HFCS? Okay. So, again, this is still fresh off the press. Not really sure how the actual details will look because, again, something can be tweeted or it can be mentioned in a post, but then the actual details of that can be slightly different. But based on what it seems like, that Coca-Cola will actually proceed with using real cane sugar. So again, this article and then the previous one, as relates to ADM stock falling because of what President Trump said about Coca-Cola on Truth Social. So let's get into it. When it comes down to is there a difference between cane sugar and HFCS, better known as high fructose corn syrup? There technically is not necessarily a difference. Now, in terms of the makeup, there obviously is a difference because with cane sugar is composed of glucose and fructose, which gives you sucrose. Okay. And so when we think about just that makeup, there's not really much of a difference with high fructose corn syrup. Obviously, it is higher in fructose content. And the thing about this is what doesn't make them either different to a degree is they are both simple sugars, which means they are already in their simplest forms. So when your body receives this or any of these sugars, it's already broken down to where the body doesn't have to necessarily go through breaking these chemicals down further. And because of that, that also presents an issue because when something is already in its simplest form, such as sugar, then that can also provide more stress to the body. Now, I'll explain. So, when we think about high fructose corn syrup, one of the things with fructose, and not to say that this doesn't apply to cane sugar, is that it can also have issues as it relates to the liver because that is where it can be primarily metabolized. Now, when it comes to metabolism or just the state of something being metabolized, you have three typical goals when it comes to metabolism. One is you want to convert whatever a food source is, you want to convert that into a source of energy. Okay. Then you also want to convert that into new growth. So this could be producing newer cells in the body to help support life. Okay. Then another one is you want to then remove that because once you've taken that energy, you've taken the nutritional components from that food source that is being metabolized, you have to do something with that food source. And that is you have to remove it from the body. And again, a lot of this is done in the liver, but the problem is when we think about just this interaction. So again, whether you have high fructose corn syrup or cane sugar, is the body can only produce so much at a time. So let's transition slightly and we'll relate this back. So, we want to talk about beta cells. So, in the body, your beta cells, they make extra insulin or they make insulin over time. Now, over time, your or I should say, in your pancreas. Now, over time, your pancreas cannot produce enough insulin, so that's where your beta cells come in, and they help to produce an extra amount of insulin. But because your pancreas is not able to keep up with the load, and load meaning cane sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or any other type of simple sugar that you are ingesting in the body. So let's say you see something sweet, ice cream, or it could be cookies, or it said, or someone may say, "Hey, got these free treats for you. Would you like some?" Now, on every instance, you would say, "You know what? I want to take that. It looks good. It's very delicious." While your palate is being pleased inside of your body, which you cannot see. You don't even know like how horrible it looks on the inside. Okay. Only thing you know is that, hey, this tastes good. Or if I've eaten too much of this, my stomach starts to hurt. So I need to take some for it. I need to lay down, need to drink some water. Then once I'm feeling better, I'll likely repeat that cycle again just because it tastes good to me. But the thing about that is because your pancreas is not able to make so much or a lot of insulin at a given time, and you also taking in a lot of sugar in your body, I'll just say that sugar, then that means that there's going to be an issue because your pancreas is not able to produce a lot of insulin, which is able to keep your blood glucose at a normal level. This can lead potentially to the development of type 2 diabetes. Okay. And this is where there is a lack of insulin being produced to again keep the blood glucose at a stable level. Okay. Now, how does this relate back to cane sugar and fructose? Because these, again, would be sources of simple sugars. So you take any one of these, and if you consume them often, it can be an issue for your body. Now, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, it can be common in a lot of individuals who are middle aged as well as older adults. Why? Well, typically, a lot of people have a sweet tooth. They typically like to eat something sweet, especially when they shouldn't, or at times of the day where they may be by themselves and they see something sweet, or it could be in front of somebody else. But typically, if they have an eye or they see something that's on sale or they see something like, that would be good to have, I'm going to get that. And they get it and they eat it. And again, the way I think about this is how many times have you done that in a day, in a week? And if you don't keep track of that, your body will, because at some point it's going to let you know, like, hey, we have a big problem. Like, it's major. Okay. And so, again, that is in essence the when I say there's not or technically a difference between cane sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Not necessarily. Again, you have some slight differences. Again, just in terms of the makeup as well as like taste preferences and how they're used in the food industry. But for the most part, again, they have no nutritional benefit. If they do, very slim, very low. It's not enough to even brag about. As well as they also have a similar, if not about the same exact caloric intake, which is roughly about 4 grams per kilocal, I want to say. And then that also equates when we go to I want to say it's the American Heart Association, which they typically recommend no more than 6 teaspoons, which is about 25 grams for women, and then 9 teaspoons, or that's about 36 grams of sugar for men in terms of added sugar. Even with that number, I still wouldn't even go to, those limits just because again, everybody's body can respond differently. So again, when we essentially break this down again, high fructose corn syrup and then cane sugar are in the same class, simple sugars. They both have no nutritional benefit. Again, they have similar I want to say the caloric intake, which is about 4 grams per, I want to say, kilocalorie, just to make sure I'm saying that correctly. Yes, I know sugar is at a base of like 4 calories per gram, which these would be regarded as empty calories because they have no nutritional benefit. So while hearing that on the news is that, hey, we're going to replace this, particular sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and we're going to replace it with some real sugar. Is it really better? No. Like plain no. No with a period. Okay. Capital N-O period. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't get this? No, that's not what I'm saying. I wouldn't myself, just because again, I like to look at foods that do have some nutritional benefit, especially if I'm going to eat this often. That is what I'm looking for, nutritional benefit. Is it also providing something negative towards my body? Then I want to modify that. So, again, this is just to show you some information that you can use for yourself. Again, as it relates to this topic, is there a difference? Nope. But again, if you prefer to drink Coca-Cola products, I am not condemning you. You have to do what's in the best interest for your body. But I do want to, or I want you to know that I'm here to share information with you so that way you can actually use it the best way that would apply to you. And again, for some people, they say, you know what? I really need to work on my sugar intake. So this wake up call. But again, not here to condemn you, but again, just here to share information so that way you can use it for your own judgment, as well as your own application when it comes to just meals that you get or just beverages that you choose or just even food choices in general. So hopefully this was just educational for you. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your screen. Make sure you do so. Whatever platform, social media platform you follow us on, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, as well as you can navigate to our website that is robody.org. You can sign up today for a one-to-one health consultation with myself. You can do so today. We're going to get started working on those goals, as well as you can also uh, use that website for booking information. Okay. So, not sure what has happened. Let's see. Just blacked out. Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, you can navigate to our website, robody.org. You can set up a one-to-one health consultation with myself, and we can get started working on your goals. Again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on whatever social media platforms you follow us on. And until next time, I will talk with you